What's up, everybody? Today I'll be going over why I shorted at all-time highs. Here is my execution from from the trade yesterday. And we closed out at 3 a.m. and made around 5,500. Well, it was 6K, but it was a re-entry, so I was already down 500, and yeah. So, well, let's go over it. All right, starting on the range that we've been in all month is, we just been longing, and there hasn't really been any reason to try to catch a rebalance unless it was pretty clear, and we're in an area where we have some good structure to the downside, right? And looking at let's look at Nasdaq first, right? Scale down from we'll go from the hourly first. The hourly, right? We start creating this bearish type of structure, right? We run through this gap, structure starting to become a little bit more bearish, right? We're making a higher low here, a lower high and then a lower low, just like normal bear structure, right? And what you can look at when you look at this is like, yeah, we do respect this area, and since we're at all-time highs, we're probably gonna run through and go higher, right? I also was like, yeah, we could definitely just flip here and continue higher, but if you do align all the time frames and the time of the month, I wasn't really looking for a long exactly here, because this structure was starting to become it felt more of like a fake out here right at Asia Open. We took out this high, and honestly, if we are going to be truly bullish here back to all-time highs, usually we just run instantly through this high and not even get much of a pullback, and we just go straight through there, right? So looking at literally just the monthly time frame, when I was looking at this, the monthly body candle was right here, and there was a 40 point wick on the monthly candle, right? And that's not really normal. We usually have some type of wick, even if the next month or this month was super bullish, we're gonna have some type of wick on this candle, right? So going into the end of the month, what do we have? It's April 28th, and I really wanted to just see this monthly candle at least push away from all-time highs for a bit and probably close with the wick, right? We do have 2 more days, and I still think we go lower to this opening gap. And yeah, so on ES, this is what happened. ES had pumped straight through all-time highs, and NQ was lagging behind, right? This is all-time highs on NQ, all-time highs ES, all-time highs on NQ. Then what did that do? That put in a pretty good SMT, right? And I don't really care about SMTs unless it's aligned with the structure that we have, and it's aligned with the draw and liquidity that I have and the whole narrative that I have, right? And in this case, we do have this SMT with the ES, and we also take out this 4-hour and 1-hour high inside of this 1-hour gap, right? So if we are going to be bearish here, or if we're at least going to come and rebalance, this high is going to be swept, this SMT is going to hold, and this bear structure is just going to continue. We're just going to create a new hourly high and come back down here, right? Looking at the daily candle as well, what do we have? This daily candle right here was all the way up here with this daily gap opened up, right? So this daily candle, I was expecting this candle to open higher, right, and close lower. And that's what happened. We opened higher, put in this SMT, took out the hourly gap, hourly high inside the hourly gap, and we put in this wick and rebalanced. So exactly what I thought would happen happened, right? And that just comes with being able to read the markets in the right way. And that's why I really faded all-time highs, was because of all these things that were aligning at the right time, right? Asia opens bullish. Most people are probably going to look for longs here. But what am I looking at? I'm looking at this SMT here. I'm looking at this monthly candle. I'm looking at this weekly candle. We already took out weekly highs. Looking at the daily candle. We swept out daily high. SMT with previous day high. Looking at the 4-hour time frame. Took out 4-hour intermediate, this 4-hour wick, 4-hour SMT, and we also inside of this 4-hour order block. Put out that line. We do hold that order block. That's the CE of this order block, and what would that be? This order block be? It's this. Show you. We create this down close candle. This upwards. Wait, is it? Yeah. This is my order block pretty much. This whole down close candle right here is my order block here. Also on the hourly, pretty good range to be playing with here. We do just rebalance pretty high into this range right here. The OTE of this range rejected pretty aggressively once we filled this hourly gap, SMT. And yeah, once we had all those things, everything was really just aligned here. And I was super confident in lower. I really didn't think we would go higher. I thought this whole Asia Open was just some form of manipulation, and that's what it was, right? So let me scale back to where I actually took my first entry. Was literally off of this. Once we created this wick, was it that? Yeah, once we created that wick, got a slight push down out of there. Pretty sure I took something like this. Literally targeting previous day low. And we did get stopped out for 500 here. Boom, we get swept out. And what I do here is I wait a little bit longer. I wait for... I was actually watching this hourly gap, seeing if we are going to run through it and fill it. And also at the time, it was 7:45. And I was just watching after I got trailed out. I was just watching to see if we do displace through here and see if we have a clean move down, and it's not really clean here. So I'm just waiting. And then now we start kicking some volume here. And that's when we have 8 p.m. opens and 7 p.m. for us. So this is when Asia opens. We start getting that volume, and that's when we have this manipulation leg up, right? And this is what I see, where I'm like, okay, if we do end up rejecting this area here, I'm gonna look for a short entry. And I'll tell you exactly how I played this. Kind of messed up my entry on the first one. I entered literally right here on this entry after we did sweep out that high again right at that time, and then we did end up displacing here, right? Once we took this low, see, okay, I messed up. 1 second. Yeah, I added it in and I messed up my fill. Well, my fill was a little bit higher here. It was like here. Added in, messed up my fill, and I got stopped at break even after I was down 500. It was like around, yeah, I got stopped at break even here. And yeah, so what I did was I was watching this 30-minute here. Oh my. What the heck did I just do? I just broke TradingView. One second. Replay. Okay, once we did displace out of this area right here, right? APM opens, we push higher, and then we just get a flip straight back down, right? I was looking at this hourly gap that we created. We're at least gonna hit that. And I really just wanted to see us run through there, right? And I was looking at this 30-minute time frame, just waiting. We do create this wick up here, and we open up this 30-minute gap. And I was like, this is the only way I could catch a pretty high RR entry here, is if we retrace to this and we get a good entry here. We take out this high, and then we flip, right? So I was watching that. I didn't want to play a big stop. I wanted to play small stop because I was going to two minis. So I was waiting. We take out that high, and in the middle of this candle, we did start displacing. So I ended up, look on the 1 minute. Damn, I got in before this candle closed. Got in here. But I'll go back. Here, I'll just go in the middle. I got in literally exactly here. Let's do sell stop. See if it works. Yeah, I got in exactly there. I'm pretty sure it was there. It was. What was my full price? 6, and then I got in with one, and then I added another. Yeah, so damn near that exact price. I put my stop loss here. It was around. Actually, I put it pretty tight. I wanted this displacement to run. It was like a 10-point stop, and genuinely was targeting here. Okay, so this was my whole trade idea. Just wanting to see this whole bearish structure really just hold on the hourly time frame, and I want to see us just run through this hourly gap and run through this EQ area, and this S&T just wanted it to hold to go to this daily gap to rebalance this range. And honestly, there wasn't a single thing on this chart that sketched me out for this trade. It was just so perfect. So yeah, I pretty much just held it. Whoa. I'm trying to educate, bro. Come on. Then we started pushing. Once we got that push, I entered extra contracts and target previous day low. It was some crazy RR play, but it just looked too good to not take. Yeah, and here we go. Previous day low. Chopping around this area. We're in this gap. I was like, we have to hold this gap and push down. We do hold it. And it's around 11 p.m. here. Just chilling. Not really tripping on any of this. And then we create an hourly gap above. And we do end up retracing to it right there. And I just need that to hold. We're still holding. We're up around 2K on this. holding. Okay, no, actually that was the hourly gap here. This one right here was the hourly gap that got created. And we just needed to see this hold. This could have been added in position if we did displace right here. Right there, could have been added. But we're in literally our full size that we can be in. And then yeah, I was kind of just watching the 5 and the 30 minute, 5, 15 minute, 30 minute. And once we saw that displacement out of there, I trailed my stop loss to this hourly here. And I was just waiting. And I did TP right here below that. I TP below previous day low just to secure. Didn't want to get edged on anything and wait. And it literally took an extra hour to hit after I closed my position. See, it hit right here at almost 4 a.m. Well, it was 3 a.m. for me. Smacked right there. And then pretty much went back up right when I closed. Took another extra hour to hit previous day low, so thank God I closed right there, or I would have been sitting in this for a while. But I had full confidence in this, so there was no reason for me to close early. And yeah, also weekly draw and daily draw was also this daily wickless candle, and it's also a new day opening gap that got traded away from. So yeah, I mean obviously I'm not gonna hold 400 points on a 50k accounts, but this draw is really clean. We do end up displacing towards it, don't end up taking it actually, so hopefully tomorrow we can get an entry to it, and that'll be actually pretty clean in my opinion if you get some type of entry there. But yeah, this is exactly how I made around 26,000 ish dollars. So it was these fresh accounts, fresh accounts, 5,564 across all of them. And yeah, very good trade. I think this was like one of my most perfect execution trades, and I actually executed it very well and exactly how I wanted to. Really happy about this. And yeah, all month I was actually not trading my best. Just honestly, I was just trading a little bit impatient. Just because I was missing some Asia moves, and I faded some Asia moves, and I faded some longs, and it was just a weird little cycle. But yeah, learned a lot this month about how I think on the charts, and yeah, I am feeling good about this trade. Y'all got any questions? Let me know. Join the Discord. Yeah, I usually go over everyone's trade in the Discord, go over some technical analysis, and whatever questions y'all need, just fucking hit me up. I don't charge anyone for anything. And yeah, later.